He wasn't just a player. He was an obsession, a symbol, and a storm. Kobe Bryant didn't just dominate the game, he redefined it. But what drove him? What fueled the fire behind the Mamba mentality? In this video, we peel back the layers of the legend, from his rise to global icon to the mindset that made him unstoppable, and the legacy that refuses to fade. You think you know the story, but there's more. Hey everybody, and welcome back to another episode of A Brush with Death. I'm your host, Miss Casey Hanalei, and in this series, I usually sit down to tell you a true crime story, but in this one, it's going to be a little different. So I'm going to sit down, I'm going to tell you a true story about someone that we all know and love, right? And I'm going to paint you a pretty picture at the same time. So if you love true crime or even just storytelling and you love art, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you'll never miss one of my just okay stories, right? So this is going to be a two-potta, as the morbid weirdos over there say on that podcast. Does anyone listen to Morbid? I freaking love Morbid. Anyways, so they always say, it's a two-potta, kid. So this one's a two-parter. We're going to see how it goes. Let me know what you guys think in the comments of the two-parter. So the first video is going to be about, you guessed it, Mr. Kobe Bryant's life and legacy. And then the second half is going to be about his, really tragic, sudden, mysterious death, and the conspiracy surrounding it. So let me know what you guys think of the setup of this one. And today we have Mr. Kobe Bryant joining us. I finished this recently this year, and I love this piece, and I handmade the frame that goes with it. It is black snakeskin for black Mamba. So if you want a print of this, they are available on my website. Just let me know if you want me to sign it for you. All right, guys, let's get into the first part of this two-potta, and let's get going. Okay, so August 23rd, 1978, this is when Kobe Bean Bryant is born in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, to Joe Jellybean Bryant, a former NBA player, and his mother, Pamela Bryant. A fun fact, Kobe was named after the famous Japanese beef, Kobe beef, which I didn't know. My name is spelled a little differently. My parents actually saw my name spelled on a TV show. So I guess it's not that weird to name your kid after something you see on a restaurant menu. So they saw Kobe beef on a menu and said, yeah, that's a good name. He spent much of his childhood in Italy, where his father played professional basketball. This is where Kobe picked up his love for soccer and also became fluent in Italian, if you didn't know that. And when he got a little older, so like middle school, he would fly over to the U.S. during the summers, and he would play basketball camps during the summer. So he was really a skilled player from the jump. So in 1991 through 1996, this is when they move back to Pennsylvania. He attends Lower Merion High School in Ardmore, that's how you say it, Pennsylvania, and becomes a national basketball sensation from a very young age. He led his high school team to state championship in 1996. And when he finished high school, he had a whopping 2,883 points, the highest in southeastern Pennsylvania history at the time. And this also passed Wilt Chamberlain at the time, which is one of the greats as well. So another fun fact, he scored 50 plus points in multiple high school games and took Miss Brandy, that's right, Moesha, to prom in 1996. Did you guys know this? There's pictures of them together. Bryant had met Brandy at a Norwood Brandy Norwood, that's her last name, at the Essence Awards that were in April at Madison Square Garden. And he was like instantly smitten, as all, teenagers were with Brandy at the time. He came home from the Essence Awards and said, "I met such a nice, beautiful, intelligent, sweet person," Kobe's mother, Pamela, later said. She told the Philadelphia Daily News that year. He was so shy that he had to have someone else ask Brandy to prom, and she said yes. So yeah, like I said, she was starring in Moesha at the time, and she was huge at the time. And he was, he was a basketball player. He had local fame, right? But he wasn't nationally known yet. So this is interesting. So like he takes her to prom, and everyone's wondering if Brandy is gonna sing at the prom or whatever. And little does everyone know that they have like one of the most famous basketball players of all time in the room as well, which can you imagine going to that high school? Oh, wow. So in 1996, there was the NBA draft, and this is when Kobe is selected 13th overall by the Charlotte Hornets. But he is then immediately traded to the Los Angeles Lakers for Vlade Divac. I think, again, I looked up how to say that. But anyways, he became the youngest player ever drafted at the time at 17 years old. Quickly after that, he also signed with Adidas right out of high school and later had deals with Nike and Sprite. He was quickly becoming one of the most famous 17-year-olds ever, I think. His deals with Adidas ran from 1996 to 2002. The deal was valued at $48 million over 6 years. Holy crap, for a 17-year-old. They had the shoe deal, obviously the Kobe, also known as the Space Boot, for its unique design. And this was Kobe's first major endorsement deal. Adidas was trying to rival Nike by locking in young stars early. The partnership ended in 2002 after a lackluster of sales and Kobe's dissatisfaction with the direction of the line. After the 2003 scandal, Adidas chose not to re-sign him. The scandal I'm talking about is the sexual assault scandal we will talk about a little later. Like I said, he also had deals with Nike, which ran from 2003 until his death in 2020. The initial deal in 2003 was estimated to be worth over $40 million over 4 years. Can you even imagine just like $1 million what you would do with that type of money? Like, pay off some credit card debt, could just relax for a little bit, be great. And by the late 2000s, he renewed multiple times with Nike. Exact figures are pretty private, but we have some estimates, right? So total Nike earnings may have exceeded around $250 million plus over his career. And Kobe's shoes skyrocketed in value after his death, and Nike eventually paused their sale to avoid perceived exploitation, which Nike does a lot of shady crap, but this was a good decision, I think. Despite being signed in 2003, Nike didn't release a Kobe signature shoe until 2005 due to the legal case that we're going to talk about soon. The Kobe signature line became one of the most successful in Nike basketball history, especially with players and fans in China. The Kobe 4, the 5, and the 6 models are particularly iconic and widely worn in the NBA, even today. And then the last one we'll talk about is the Sprite or Coca-Cola contract that he had. It is estimated that it was worth around $10 to $15 million. He signed this contract in late 1990s. The campaign featured Kobe in commercials with slogans like "Obey your thirst," and Sprite was one of Kobe's earliest endorsements as he emerged as a star. Sprite, or Coca-Cola, cut ties temporarily during the 2003 sexual assault case, but later re-engaged Kobe in the campaigns. So Overall, cumulative endorsement earnings were estimated to be around, get ready for this, I know how you guys love me singing, 350 to $400 million. Holy crap. From endorsements during his lifetime. Other brands he endorsed were McDonald's, Nutella, Turkish Airlines, Lenovo, Hublot. Is that how you say that? I don't think it is. I think I'm getting that wrong. Panini. What's Panini? Oh no. And later his own brands like Body Armor. He invested $6 million in this, and now it's worth $400 million plus. So yeah, he, right off the gate, 17 years old, was already getting these endorsement deals. And, yeah, can you imagine having that much money? 17 years old. But, we'll get into it, but it seems like Kobe, I think Kobe was a good person. I didn't really get any evidence that he will do the later not a conviction, but, the accusations were not true. But, you can always have your own opinion too. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. So in 1996 to 1997, this was Kobe's rookie season. He debuted on November 3rd, 1996 against the Timberwolves, playing for the Lakers. He became the youngest player to ever play in an NBA game at the time. He won the 1997 Slam Dunk Contest at only age 18. And then in 1999, he forms a legendary duo with the very, very large, amazing Shaquille O'Neal under coach Phil Jackson. One thing I really like about Shaq, I really like watching and listening to his commentary after all the, what is this? Is it Sports Center that he's on? After all the games. And one of my favorite Shaq moments, I don't remember who, maybe it was Charles Barkley. I don't remember who, this was a few Christmases ago. I remember because there was a Christmas tree and they were running, to get to the screen in the back, right? And he literally pushes somebody into the Christmas tree. Maybe I'll post a clip. Maybe it'll all get tagged and I'll have to take this video down. But anyway, so this is when he forms the legendary duo with Shaquille O'Neal, or Shaq. And they win 3 consecutive NBA championships, 2000, 2001, and 2002. So 2001 playoffs, he averaged about 29.4 PPG, or points per game. And he helped the Lakers go from 15-1 in postseason. So one of the most dominant playoff runs in history, and Kobe was at the forefront. Despite the success, tension between Kobe and Shaq really began to show at this point during these years. And from what I gather, the tension is mostly like, Shaq. Shaq is like, his personality is more fun-loving. He's in freaking every commercial. I think he's just living his life, but Kobe seemed to be more like all business, I think, and they were 2 very talented players, and Shaq still is, but, he's old. But, it seemed like they were butting heads a lot. And also I think there was maybe some jealousy on Shaq's part of Kobe's success, even though Shaq is also one of the most successful NBA players of all time. But anyways, I digress. So this is when we get to 2003. This is when he gets into some legal trouble in Colorado. So a sexual assault case emerged and was filed, but later dropped. Though it damaged his reputation, Kobe continued to play at a very high level. So the accuser ultimately, they determined that the accuser of Kobe had intimate relationship with another man in and around the same time as she was involved with Kobe, allegedly. And there was some evidence that was, admitted by the defense supporting this. And the defense argued that the accuser, physical injuries were consistent with having sexual relations on more than one occasion in a short period of time. So, there was a lot of other stuff that they submitted, but the case was later dropped, right? So he got out of it, but it did damage his reputation. A lot of his endorsements dropped him, but later picked him back up when he was, he wasn't necessarily proven innocent, but I think the majority of people believe that he was innocent, and this was maybe just a money grab for the accuser. But with that being said, I don't want to have that either. I mean, it's always possible, right? We should always believe someone that is accusing another person of sexual assault or just assault in general, until they are proven innocent. So who knows? Who knows if it happened? But from Kobe's actions and from what it just didn't seem like in his character to do something like that. We'll see that he is a family man later on in his life, and who knows, maybe he did do it and then, change his ways later. I don't know. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think. Did he do it? Do you think he didn't do it? I don't know. So the 2005-2006 season, this is where Kobe averaged 35.4 ppg, or points per game. One of the highest since Michael Jordan. January 22nd, 2006, he scores over 81 points against the Toronto Raptors. That is the second highest single point game total in NBA history. And still is. Fun fact, Kobe had 26 points at halftime and then exploded after halftime, which I feel like you don't really see. It seems like they kind of run out of energy a little bit, but he scored 55 points after that halftime in the second half, which is incredible. So in 2008-2010, this seems to be when he's kind of finally redeemed out of this lawsuit. And 2008, he wins the NBA MVP award, his only MVP, while leading the Lakers to the finals. And then he was also in the 2008 and 2012 Olympics. He wins gold medals with Team USA, becoming a veteran leader and mentor to younger stars like LeBron and Durant. Do you guys like LeBron? I think I like Durant better. I don't really like LeBron. I don't like the hype around LeBron. Like, people calling him the king and stuff. I feel like it's a little blasphemous, Like, I don't know. In 2008, Kobe famously led a comeback against Spain in the gold medal game with clutch plays and defense. So he came in and he won the gold for the U.S. In 2009 and 2010, he wins 2 more NBA championships without Shaq, who played for the Cavs at the time. And then in those championships, he is named MVP, NBA Finals MVP both times. So in Game 7 on the 2010 Finals versus the Celtics, though, he struggled shooting 6 of 24, and he had 15 rebounds and key plays, epitomizing his his grit and leadership. So we'll see this with Kobe too. Even though he failed, quote unquote, failed a lot, he was still really consistent and persistent with his craft, his basketball, right? And he just kept going. But unfortunately, in 2013, he did get injured. So April 12th, 2013, he tore his Achilles tendon in a game versus Golden State Warriors. After tearing it, actually, Kobe walked to the free throw line and sank 2 free throws before limping off. Iconic. He spent nearly a year in recovery, returning briefly in 2014 before suffering more injuries. So 2015, 2016, this is when Kobe decides to retire, and he starts his farewell tour. November 29th, 2015, he announces his retirement with a heartfelt poem titled Dear Basketball on the Players' Tribune. So the entire season of 2015 to 2016, he embarks on a farewell tour, like I said, and welcomed with standing ovations in every NBA arena. And then April 13th, 2016 was his final game. Kobe scores 60 points against the Utah Jazz. The crowd included celebrities, ex-teammates, and fans worldwide. He became the oldest player to score 60 points in a game at 37 years old. Wow. Does anyone else remember that game? I remember that game. We were living in a dinky apartment. This was almost 10 years ago. And I remember, I don't think I cried. I might have cried. I don't know. But it was just a very emotional thing. And to see that spectacle of him scoring 60 points for someone who is considered geriatric in the NBA, right? I think Steph is like 36, isn't he? I mean, they're getting older, I feel like. I feel like you see older players more often than you do 10 years ago, and even 20 years ago. So post-retirement in 2016 through 2020, Kobe really focused on fatherhood and entrepreneurship. He founded Granity Studios, which is a multimedia company, and focuses on creating new ways to tell stories about sports, and is still in existence today. And then he also created Mamba Sports Academy, where he focuses on developing youth in sports. So he also created Dear Basketball, which I didn't know about. Seems like he was a pretty creative person, which is understandable because he wrote that poem and he's creating Granity Studio. It's just, he's multifaceted, which is, I didn't know. So he created Dear Basketball into an animated short film, which is the poem he read when he announced his retirement. He ended up winning an Academy Award for Best Animated Short Film in 2018, making Kobe the first NBA player to win an Oscar, which is, wow. I didn't know that. How did I not know that? So in his retirement, he became a hands-on father to his two girls. He coached his daughter Gianna's basketball team and mentored a lot of young athletes through his Mamba Academy. Gigi, Gianna, her name, they called her Gigi, was coached by Kobe on the youth girls AAU basketball team, Team Mamba. So this is where we get to his shocking death. So in January 26, 2020, do you remember the day? I certainly do. Kobe Bryant and his daughter Gianna and 7 others died in a helicopter crash in Calabasas, California. The group was en route to a basketball game at Kobe's Mamba Sports Academy. And I remember the day that I found out. I think that was a Sunday. I think it was either Saturday or Sunday. It was a weekend. And I just remember being shocked. And I didn't think it was real at the time either. It's such a huge loss. And again, just shocking. And too, I'm a huge basketball fan. It just it tore me up for a little bit. So Kobe's loss sparked a global outpouring of grief. Everybody was upset. With tributes from athletes, artists, and fans across the world. They did hold a memorial at the Staples Center on February 24th, 2020. And this is in the height of COVID, too. Everyone's at home, right? And they had a memorial done symbolizing Gianna's number 2 and Kobe's number 24. A public memorial was held featuring emotional speeches by Michael Jordan, Vanessa Bryant, who was his wife, and others. So that's kind of the end of this video. I wanted to end on kind of a positive note. I know that it wasn't really true crime, I'm sorry, but I wanted to really give Kobe his time and just really kind of soak in who he was, just this incredible force to be reckoned with, right? Like, and still is today. He inspires so many people and so many players. So from his public memorial, February 24th, 2020, Vanessa, his wife, did give, and remember, she lost a daughter as well. That makes me really upset. I'm not going to cry in this one, don't worry. But anyways, she did speak, and she said, God knew they couldn't be on this earth without each other. He had to bring them home to have them together. And that is Vanessa speaking about Kobe and their daughter, Gianna. This quote highlights the profound bond between Kobe and Gianna and Vanessa's spiritual strength in the face of unimaginable loss. I can't really fathom that type of loss, let alone your partner, but also a child. She is a very, very strong person. And also, too, there was a lawsuit later on about the death. I don't remember who was suing who. But she ended up winning something like $30 million, and she donated her portion, which was around $16 million, to, I believe, the Mamba Sports Academy. So just seems like she's a really good person as well. And that's what kind of tells me that Kobe was a good person. Rarely do you see a bad person paired with a good person. Like, have you guys ever noticed that, right? Like, usually with like married couples especially, like if one is bad, usually the other one is bad too. And again, if one is a good person, usually the other one is good too. Just something I've noticed. So something that tells me I think Kobe was a good person. And too, like, he was a devoted father. And I think I read too that his last words was telling Gianna that he loved her, which, oh, that's really sad. But anyways, said I wasn't gonna cry. I hope that Kobe's story inspires you. And two, don't forget that we have part 2 coming next week, where we are going to dive into the conspiracy theories about how Kobe and Gianna died, and get a little bit more true crimey in that one, right? And yes, I am wearing, can you see the number? Do you guys know who that is? It's Rodman, of course. I got a thing for the bad boys, guys. I know Rodman's not a good person. I know that, guys. I know. So like always, I like to end on a quote from the person we were talking about, Mr. Kobe Bryant. And I actually have this kid's book that I found, Mr. Kobe Bryant by Mary Min. And something I didn't know about Kobe was he still holds the record for most shots missed. 14,481 missed shots, which I think goes back to his Mamba mentality, right? Where he says that Mamba mentality is always striving to be the best version of yourself. So Kobe did not give up. He kept trying. He kept shooting. And he is one of the most successful NBA players of all time, which, just if you get knocked down, get back up, right? So this is a quote from Kobe himself. He said, I have self-doubt. I have insecurity. I have fear of failure. I have nights when I show up at the arena and I'm like, my back hurts. My feet hurt. My knees hurt. I don't have it. I just want to chill. We all have self-doubt. You don't deny it, but you also don't capitulate to it. You embrace it. I can't read. But anyways, he said you embrace it. You embrace who you are. You embrace everything that you are, right? And you still strive for success and achievement. So I hope that you find that inspiring. I hope that you liked this new kind of format. I'm not going to obviously do a ton of second, two potas here, kid. But if you liked it, let me know in the comments. If you didn't like it, let me know in the comments. Let me know if I should never do this again. So if you want to see the finished product of the painting that I'm painting of Kobe right now, you'll have to come back next week to see the finished product. Usually the paintings that I do for these videos are, take me anywhere from like 45 minutes to an hour to do. This one is taking me about 2 hours. So it will be worth it. It's a little bit more detailed than I usually do. And it's coming along real nice right now as we speak. So come back for the second part next week and I will show you the finished piece. And then we will talk about his the conspiracy surrounding him and his daughter's shocking death. So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for hanging in there. I hope that you like this video and as much as I like putting them together, and go out there, be good people, be kind to one another, and live that Mamba mentality just like Kobe did. And I will see you in the next one. Bye. Love you.